Season 4 of Reacher has not aired a single episode yet, and the cast is already back on set for Season 5. Let that sink in for a second. Most shows wait months after a premiere before they even talk about a next season. This one didn't wait for a premiere at all. It didn't even wait for Season 4 to finish its marketing rollout. So today we're breaking down exactly what Alan Ritchson just confirmed, why the timing here is genuinely unusual for this franchise, what it tells us about which book is coming next, and when you can actually expect to watch it. Stick around, because the math on this one gets interesting toward the middle. If you're new here, quick primer. Reacher is Prime Video's adaptation of Lee Child's novel series, starring Alan Ritchson as Jack Reacher, a former Army military police major who left the service and now just wanders. No fixed address, no phone. He shows up in a town, something bad is happening, and he ends up in the middle of it, usually with his fists. The show has been one of Prime Video's biggest performers since it launched. Season 1 adapted the very first novel, Killing Floor. Season 2 jumped to Book 11, Bad Luck and Trouble. Season 3 went to Book 7, Persuader. Notice a pattern? There isn't one. This show does not adapt the books in order, and that detail is going to matter a lot later in this video. Season 4 is next up, premiering August 12th, 2026, adapting Book 13, Gone Tomorrow. And that's where things get interesting, because Season 5 is not some distant future plan. It's happening right now. Alan Ritchson sat down with Screen Rant for a cover story about his new film, Motor City. And in the middle of that interview, almost as a side comment, he dropped this. He said filming for Season 5 starts on Monday. Not next month. Not later this year. Monday. He even said he had to leave the interview and head straight to set. He followed that up with something that's arguably more important than the filming date itself. He confirmed the season has already been fully written. All the scripts are locked, and he knows exactly which book they're adapting. He just wasn't saying which one on camera. So here's what we actually have confirmed as of this recording. Filming begins before the end of July 2026. The scripts are done. The book has been chosen. And Season 4 hasn't even premiered. Now, if you don't follow the production side of TV shows, this might not sound like a big deal. So let's put it in context using the show's own history. Reacher has actually been renewed early before. Every season so far has gotten its green light well ahead of the previous season's premiere. That part isn't new. What's new is the production speed. Look at Season 3. That's the only prior season where cameras started rolling early, roughly 5 months before Season 2 even premiered, and notably, before Prime Video had even officially announced it. Every other season followed a much slower path. Typically, there's at least a 6-month gap between an official renewal announcement and a full script being locked and ready to shoot. Season 5 was only officially confirmed by Prime Video in mid-May 2026. Filming starts in late July. That's roughly 2.5 months. For scripts to be fully finished in that window, the actual writing almost certainly began before the official confirmation ever went public. Which means, quietly behind the scenes, this show's writer's room was already working on Season 5, while Season 4 was still in post-production. This tells us something important about how Prime Video is now treating this franchise. They're not waiting to see how a season performs before planning the next one. They're building the pipeline in advance, season after season, almost like an assembly line. For a streaming platform, that's usually reserved for their biggest, safest bets. Before we get further into Season 5 speculation, let's lock in what's actually confirmed for Season 4, because the release structure itself is a little different this time. Season 4 premieres August 12th, 2026, and it's not dropping all at once. The first 3 episodes launch together, then the remaining 5 episodes roll out weekly. That weekly stretch runs all the way to September 16th. And here's a detail worth pausing on. September 16th is also the premiere date for the Neagley spinoff series, starring Maria Sten. So Prime Video is essentially closing out the Reacher season with a built-in transition straight into a brand new show in the same universe, same day. That's a smart scheduling move if you're trying to keep a franchise in the cultural conversation for as long as possible, rather than letting interest drop off after a finale. So for anyone tracking their calendar, 3 episodes August 12th, 1 episode a week after that, finale and Neagley premiere, both landing September 16th. Okay, now for the part everyone actually wants to know. Which book is Season 5 based on? Ritchson didn't say, but we can narrow this down using two things: the show's own pattern and something Ritchson himself said back in 2025. Remember, the show has adapted Book 1, then Book 11, then Book 7, then Book 13. There is no order being followed. Lee Child has written close to 30 Reacher novels at this point, so the writer's room has a massive amount of material to choose from. Back in 2025, in an interview, Ritchson was asked about his favorite book in the series, and he named Die Trying, which is Book 2, released in 1998. He didn't confirm that as the Season 5 pick, but he made it clear he'd personally love to see it adapted. Given how much creative input Ritchson has as an executive producer on this show, that comment carries more weight than a typical actor just naming a favorite. There was also a separate report from industry insider Jeff Snyder earlier this year, back in April, claiming that Season 5 was already quietly moving forward at Amazon before any official renewal was even announced. That lines up almost perfectly with everything Ritchson just confirmed. The insider chatter and the official news are now telling the same story. So while we don't have a confirmed title yet, all the signs point toward this being a deliberate, long-planned choice rather than something decided last minute. Whatever book it is, it's been in the works for a while. This is where the math gets genuinely useful, so stay with me. Across the show's history, there's a fairly consistent production rhythm. Filming typically takes somewhere between 4 and 6 months. After that wraps, the season usually premieres roughly 9 months later. Once you account for post-production, editing, visual effects, scoring, and marketing. The longest gap on record was Season 3, which took about 15 months from wrap to premiere. If Season 5 follows the more typical timeline rather than that longer outlier, and filming is starting now in late July 2026, that puts the premiere somewhere around the summer of 2027. That would keep the show on the same roughly annual release rhythm it's held on since it started, which is honestly rare for a big-budget action series. A lot of shows this size stretch out to 18 months or even 2 years between seasons. Reacher has consistently avoided that gap. Here's a prediction worth watching for. Given how far ahead Prime Video is now planning this franchise, don't be surprised if a Season 6 renewal gets announced before the end of this year, potentially timed right around when Season 5 wraps production. Think about the pattern we just walked through. Season 5 was confirmed months before Season 4 even premiered. If that pattern holds, or accelerates, Prime Video could be locking in Season 6, while Season 5 cameras are still rolling. That would be the earliest turnaround this franchise has ever had. For a franchise that's now stacking up 2 spin-offs and 5 confirmed seasons within about 5 years, this isn't just a hit show anymore. This is Prime Video's flagship action franchise, and they're clearly building it out the way networks used to build long-running procedurals, except with a much bigger budget and a much bigger star SO to recap everything. Season 4 premieres August 12th, weekly episodes through September 16th, and the Neagley spinoff launches that same day. Season 5 is already in production as of this week. The scripts are finished, the book is chosen but not revealed, and if the show sticks to its usual rhythm, expect it sometime around summer 2027. And keep an eye out, because a Season 6 announcement might come sooner than anyone expects. If you want to break down the moment official book confirmation drops, that's exactly the kind of update we cover here first. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.